Hi, my name is Jamie Engel and I'm in second year in Geography and Aviation at the University of Waterloo. The idea of getting a degree at the same time as getting your flight training is pretty appealing because after 4 years you come out with a commercial pilot's license and a degree, which can be extremely beneficial, especially if you turn out to not get into aviation for one reason or another. You still have a degree backing you up. It's like built-in plan B, as Tammy always calls it. I was about 8 or 9. I started to get interested in aviation because my grandfather was a pilot, and I used to just like go through his logbook and like ask all these questions, and like it did seem pretty out of reach at first because it's such a hard path to take. There's so many hours to do, so many like little pathways that you can take, and it's really hard to like actually get yourself into the industry. But if it's something you want bad enough, just do it. Having the program which connects your academics and your flying is really useful because you don't really have to plan your time as much, and there's like resources everywhere in every aspect of the program, right? Like you have help with your academics and you have help with your flight training. So yeah, everything's really accessible. The courses we take here at the Flight Center are all about the actual flight aspect, but they do cross over with our university courses a bit. So like ground school, for example, has 4 sections: navigation, air law, general knowledge, which is engines and theory of flight, and meteorology, which is weather, and that I find crosses over a lot with geography courses because obviously physical geography has a lot to do with weather. And yeah, so they complement each other really nicely because there's a lot of subject matter that crosses over. But when you first come to the Flight Center, you don't really know anyone at all, but all the instructors, upper year students, and like even the private students who have nothing to do with the program, they all talk and help each other out, and it's a good environment, I would say. When I graduate, I see myself leaving, so traveling, hopefully. I've thought about going up north and doing bush flying. I don't really see myself instructing, and instructing versus bush flying are sort of the 2 main ways that people would go, I would say. So I wouldn't mind going up north to get some hours. The path from the program to flying for an airline like WestJet is an extremely long one, I would say. And I don't really want to say that you need to know people, but it's extremely helpful. It's that kind of industry. So, I mean, graduating, you kind of have to get in somewhere. It doesn't really matter where, because hours are really what everything's based on at first. So, like I said before, if I was to go up north and do bush flying, probably wouldn't be the best job ever, but that's kind of how you got to get in. And once you get up near 1,000+ hours, that's when you can actually start applying for larger jobs and getting further in the industry, I would say. I would say that there is a point in your training when you realize that this is definitely what you want to be doing. For me, that was my first solo flight because after I did it, I felt so accomplished and I was so happy for like a week after. And yeah, honestly, there's nothing that makes me happier. So for someone who's coming into the program, I would say that that's probably the most important thing you need to think about, or even if you're just considering the program. Make sure it's exactly what you want to do, because it's a lot of money and time to spend doing something that you're not sure about, and it does require a very large amount of